Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. This is Brandy J with Voices of Courage, Walk the Talk. Today, I have with me an awesome guest by the name of Herb Wakefield. And Herb is amazing. I just want to call you like a scientist and just like you're many of things, but you're like on your way. First of all, hello.
Hi, how you
How
doing?
you doing? Doing good in
Doing well. I'm
yourself.
doing
Thank you for
well.
joining me.
Thank you.
I've
No
been excited
problem.
to
Just glad to
meet
be
you.
here.
Me too. Me too. So Herb, your specialty is it STEM? You're like that's where you're focusing on like STEM research?
Yeah, so on STEM, I am more so on the science side of things. I'm a chemist by trade, well, by
Hmm.
profession now, I guess. Well, it would be by profession after grad school is all finished. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm a
Okay. So how long have you been pursuing this? Like how long has this been your life?
so it's yeah, so it's been my life pretty much for a while now since junior year in high school. In my high school, I had this teacher. Her name was Miss Whitmire, and she was a
Hmm.
black woman teaching chemistry. And while she was doing that, she was also getting her doctorate at Howard University. And for since that class, I was always noticed that chemistry seemed to come easy to me. And it was funny because she always used to say, like in class, that I would become a broke chemist, which is like halfway true. I'm a chemist, but I wouldn't call myself necessarily broke just yet. But no, I've I always thought I was going to be become like a medical doctor. That decision changed my senior year of undergrad, and now I'm on my route to get my PhD.
That's right. That's what's up. Especially people that look like us.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I work with kids, so I love it when they get to see that they don't just have this one way to go. So
Yeah,
I
I, under-
appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand that because like geez, let me turn off my phone. Sorry about
Mhm.
that. I understand that because like growing up when I went to just public school system and we don't hear about like people becoming scientists generally and doing the science thing all the way up, and everybody who's black and pursues science mostly in my perspective wants to become a medical doctor, but there's a whole different other sets of career fields that are pretty open to diversification opportunities that I'm interested in teaching people about. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that they go like usually like medical but because that's just of interest or because they just don't know about there's other things that you can do.
I think it's twofold that it can be their interest, but I feel like your interest is only garnered to the things that you see, right?
True.
We always see a lot of black doctors. Like if we take the example of the Meet the Brown show that was on TBS, like their family was black doctors, black nurses. Even in my family is pretty much all nurses on one side of it, and we don't really see like the other side of what it takes to become a doctor as far as the science that is involved in it and the pathways that science can take is also pretty interesting. And when you realize that that other path is also lucrative as becoming a doctor, and in some cases cheaper than becoming a doctor because a lot of programs are paid for and you get a stipend to go to school, then it becomes a way more attractive field to pursue, I feel like.
Mm, okay. Pretty awesome. Some more stuff I learned. So okay. Yeah. Um yeah, my son he's like into science and stuff, so it'd be something for him to take a look at into know more about. Okay. So as far as when basically what when in school, like what grade did you know like at a certain grade that this is where you wanted to go? Like did you have like a favorite, some people into math, some people are into
Hmm.
reading. Did you have a favorite subject and you kind of knew this was going to be your way?
Uh, No, I was always the kid that when anybody asked me my favorite subject, it would either be gym or recess. So I couldn't really say that chemistry for a while there was my favorite subject. But I feel like as I got older and more mature in my academic standing, I felt like chemistry was one of the subjects that came more naturally to me. And some of the concepts that are presented are pretty much made sense. And I feel like once you find that thing that makes sense to you, it comes naturally to you, then you should just pursue that as far as it go because um, life's hard. So the easier you can make it, it'll be
Yeah,
smooth.
I like that. Easier than me. I had a boss used to tell me, "Don't work harder, work smarter."
Hmm.
Okay, all right. So, what is your? I'm gonna. It's like no today. No matter where I go in the house, it's like the garbage truck guy chose today. Just go front and back. Not gonna get me down to that. Okay. So where see you made me forget my question. No, okay, we got this. Oh, been a rough day. Um he really did make me forget my question. I like had everything set up. I was so excited. He threw it on me. It's crazy. Okay. Oh yes, okay. So as far as so what else in because I know like there's other things that when I was reading your profile and stuff that that you're into and that you talk about, like what is your favorite thing um outside of like the research, like being the chemist and everything, what is your favorite thing to do out of
Outside
because
of that,
yeah.
so I would say my favorite thing to do outside, I like to provide, um, as far as like, I guess professional goals, not necessarily hobby types. Like I don't always want to be like a chemist. When people think of chemistry, they think of this, the old white guy in a lab coat slaving over a lab bench for what 23 out of 24 hours a day. That's not the type of lifestyle that I want to lead and want to continue on. But my main thing that I like to do is provide opportunities, like I've been saying, outside of this, like showing people that this is a field that you can go to and improving diversity and inclusive practices and STEM education and just STEM research as a whole. And part of the way I'm going to do that, hopefully when the pandemic ends, and whatever time frame that may be, but I hope to do that by going back to my high school, doing some little
Cool.
chem demonstrations that I've learned, and get people interested in the field. Because I remember when in elementary school, when the nature guy comes with the owl, that's like the coolest thing you're going to see that month probably. And it's not like those demonstrations can't happen at a high school level or a middle school level at all.
Yeah, definitely. Could you do us a favor and could you explain to some of the listeners like what STEM research entails?
So STEM research is pretty much it's a series of asking questions and doing your best to get the answer to these questions. So um, my one of my advisors, he used this analogy of a pie chart of knowledge, right? When you're in elementary school and your early education, your job is to learn like 75% of the pie chart of knowledge, right? But as you get higher into your education, you're starting to specify, and by specification I mean you're going to dwindle that pie chart to where you only know about 1% of all the knowledge in the world, but you're an expert in that 1%. And then STEM research in my level right now is like I'm going to be an expert in probably like 0.001% of any knowledge that's in the world. So STEM research is just asking the questions that and caring about a topic that really no one else really cares about besides yourself, because that's what your research is tailored to. And the overall overarching goal of research in STEM is to one, forward the science and forward the understanding that we have and for technology that we have. And unfortunately, some of the other goals of some other corporations is to, um, is on defense and military side of things. Those are some also motivations to pursue STEM research. But the overarching goal, I would say, is just to forward knowledge as a whole. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you ever like look at how like society just like say for instance how people are just wilding out today, like freaking nuts. Like you ever sit back and be like, what is in the water? Like what's like something's more there? Like like I saw like with the insurrection, I saw more than just like insurrection. I saw more than just people hanging off of the Capitol. I saw there's something wrong here. Like something is not right. Like up here, like what is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah. I mean,
Like
yeah. My
yeah.
neuroscience is always interesting to me because the concept of what is thought and what is how do people think is really interesting because right now is I think of everything's related to a chemical, right? But
Mhm.
some things that are as ethereal as thought and like dreams, whatever those things may be, like those are you can't really tie that back to science. So I mean, I'm sure neuroscientists are like asking those questions, running into walls because even though I'm a scientist and I'm tasked to find the answers to nature's questions, I do believe that at some point nature's like, yeah, look, you don't need to know this, and it just like
Mhm.
stops you in your tracks.
Right. True, true. Yes, nature is not one to be messed with.
No, not at all.
Yeah. You put what you put into it, what should give you back.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So do you have any as far as, in your field, do you have anything that you want to exceed, like excel in or to add on or to learn?
Um, Not really, because I feel like when I have those like set goals of learning, my overarching goal is to be the best person scientist that I can be, and that's just setting goals like this. It's like short term attainable goals, like getting my master's degree, getting my PhD, but there's no like overarching thing like I'm going to answer this question, I'm going to give the answer to this question. Like I don't see myself like I like research, I'm good at research, but some of those like it takes a specific level of dedication and time to answer some of these questions, and I feel like life's more important to live than to some of the answers that we might think of, some of the questions we might think of.
That's true. That's true. That was deep right. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, I have to. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. You can still see me right now, right? Weird
Yes.
question, right?
Hmm.
Right. I just need to. Okay, that's wonderful. We're doing great things right now. Okay. And then one more question. Can you hear that garbage truck?
No, I
You can't hear
can't,
it.
but I can understand
Thank
how
God.
it might be.
I feel offended right now. I feel like it's a personal attack right now. I'm just like trying to hold it together. Like, whoa, today, right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, that's something I wanted to say. Definitely wanted to talk to you about. Uh, quite quieting down. I think was well for you losing your that was something that was big for you. You lost both or just one parent?
I just lost my dad. Yeah.
That okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was something that how old were you when you lost it?
So I was only 22. So this was just in 2019. So it was
Okay. At the
it
moment.
was fairly young. Like it's literally at the age where it's not where you're so young to where you don't remember your parents, but it's at the age where you're like still seeking that guidance from them. And yeah, it was, you know,
Yeah.
it's it's hard, but we got him. He wouldn't want me to. He always wanted me to move forward. So, but yeah, I'm more comfortable to talk about it now than probably. Well, I talk about it to like relieve some of the things, and some of the things that I learned in that process because I got a lot of responsibilities from those experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then you can, help others too. So, yeah.
Hmm.
I lost my mom, so that's it. It was like it never what? Green door. It's never it's never get easy. It's easy, but it never like gets it's never like gonna you're always that missing
Hmm.
part. Like no matter what. Even if you can go on, but it always like for me, I'll still it's been since 2010. I'll still something exciting will happen and she'll be the first person I want to call. Still. But I know immediately
Yeah.
I'm just like, do that. That's because I'm
Yeah.
someone I
Yeah.
want to call.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
Well,
I
thank you for
totally agree.
opening up, being able to talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, no problem. I mean, like it's I learned a lot in that little transition of him being here and not being here anymore. But yeah, it's one of the things that it taught me was to take care of people who take care of you. Because I remember when my dad's one of those type of people where everyone knew him. Like we always joked that he could have ran for like the local mayor because anytime we're in a grocery store, me and my sister used to count how many people he would just run into and know, and then expect me to know for some reason. But like, he was just that type of guy. And when it came past to go to his funeral, like it was just packed, and like there was like no one in his friend group that wouldn't do anything for him or his kids. So that's one of the things I learned because, sometimes you do have to depend on people. And if you build those relationships early and often, then they will come to bear fruit later in life, I would feel like.
yeah, for sure. Wise man you are.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah. How old are you? Yeah, very wise, very wise. So, how was it going to a predominantly white school? Like, tell
uh,
us. Like, was it?
is
What would it be like if somebody would think like, oh, that would be rough? you
I
know?
mean, it all depends on like where you're coming at the situation, right? So, for me, in my high school, I came from a high school that was 88% black, right? So, a culture shock is an understatement to what a PWI is. But one of the reasons why I wanted to go there is that the world's not 88% black, especially if America's not 88% black. So at some point, I'm just going to have to learn how to, excuse me, one, work with and gain perspectives from people who don't look like me, right? And to say that it's lonely, to say it's lonely is not the case, right? Because even though the overall minority black population at my school was around 3%, like that 3% is like really like a close knit 3%. Like to say that every like we were just a family. There was one time where pretty much everybody just lived in the same dorm room, and that was like one of the funnest and college one of the funnest college experiences that a person can have, right? And you make the place your own. So I wouldn't say it's harder than anywhere else. I wouldn't say it's easier. Definitely not easier than anywhere else because you're gonna have your perspective challenged. You're gonna be challenged daily, and you can't lean on certain comforts, with other people who look like you. So
Right.
you just kind of have to forge your path and find who you are in this world. And I feel like I was grateful to have that experience.
For sure. Hands down. Yeah. Because I guess for each person, it's all about like their perspective. Like it could be you and another black guy, and same situation, and the
Hmm.
whole outcome could go very differently for both of you. You can have a great experience, the other one may not. It all depends on how I guess you move and your perspective and how you view things. And if you go in with like you're expecting something or but you embraced it and was like, yeah, this is it. You saw how it could help you.
Mm. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. I will say it's not for everybody. So I'm not going to be like, look, go to PWIs if you want to. I will say it's not for everybody, but for me, I went into it and I said I went into it like I go into a lot of things with like pretty much no expectations of anything. So I sort of take everything at face value, and for me that helps me a lot because it pretty much reduces the amount of stigmas or reduces the amount of expectations that I have on everything. So I don't like go down. I don't like go down from there. It's only like positive things and sometimes negative things, but it doesn't really affect me as much. So when I went there, I was like, all right, I'm here. Um, I belong here because I know I belong here, and I'm gonna make it do what it do. You know.
There you go. Shoot. There you go. So can you say that, say for instance, like, because I work with teach and with like kinder. Well, the school goes up to like eighth grade.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think like kinder to eighth grade. So can you see the importance of that young of a children to be exposed to diversity if they're going to truly like be able to go out to the world and adapt and function, because you could teach somebody all day long and they can get great grades and stuff, but can't
Hmm.
really know how to really deal with different types of people, like get along with people, or just the kind of like some kids are like I had came to the school and were like didn't already like white like people, but you could tell it was adopted from like home. They were like
Yeah.
shut down from the white teacher, and we only had like two white teachers, whatever.
Hmm.
So, do you think that
Yeah. I
that
mean,
is a plus if they do?
yeah. I mean, it's a plus, not even just for anybody, not even just for kids, but for anybody in general to
Yeah,
be expose yourself to new things, expose yourself to different people, and realize that one, not everyone in the world thinks like you, and not
right.
and two, not everyone in the world thinks alike. So you can have these scarce interactions with people that may not go over so well, but that's probably only due to like one interaction with a group of people in one location that all share common views, but not every like there's 7 billion people in the world. Not everybody's going to think alike. There's going to be some common threads, but not everyone's like that. And I feel like if you expose yourself
Yeah,
to that at an early age, you learn how to communicate with not only with other people, but within yourself to know like the difference between when to take offense, when to stand up for yourself, and when to have the discernment to know like, okay, this is that they're going to be who they are. And that's what they're gonna do. And I could either hang with them or I could either interact with them or I don't. The world still turns.
right. I like your thinking.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
What's your sign? It's like, no, you don't have to answer that. You don't
Oh
have to
yeah.
answer that. I know everybody's not into
Nah,
astrology.
nah. I'm a
It's
Libra
okay.
though.
Yeah. I said, nah, I'm
Actually, no.
okay.
I'm a cuss. I don't know. It's,
I'm a Capricorn. They say. Yeah. What was I gonna say? So, okay, you had stated, and I know you're tired. I'm gonna let you go here. Just gonna drain your brain from all I can real quick. Since you're
no,
already
you're
gonna go to
fine.
bed.
I love this. This is great.
So you said, okay, so the world there's 7 billion. No, wait, you said 700 billion, right? Wait, what did you say?
No,
7 billion.
7 billion. Mm-hmm.
7 billion. Okay. Right. And you said
Okay.
not everybody, most likely not everybody thinks the same, right? So there's a good chance that almost a good of that many people all most likely think completely different. You might
Mm-hmm.
find some similarities, right?
Yeah.
So would it be true to a statement like all men are the same, or all women do that, or all this, or all that? And then I'm like, well, I don't. Is would that so that like those are like outlandish statements, because it's like, well, you don't know everybody in the world, you don't know all women. So that to me, I find that to be a pretty ignorant statement. But
Yeah.
do I have a point? A lot of people say that. Okay, some knows. I was like, you can't say that. Like, even if the majority of men say women do this, blah 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 blah, this and that, and I don't. I've never done that. I've never used a guy or whatever and say, yeah, right. Heck is that supposed to mean? It's because all women. I stop you right there because I'm like, you don't even know all women. You don't know all the women in the world. So
Hmm.
that's like a false statement. Does
Yeah.
that make sense what I said, or am I just
No,
crazy?
that makes total sense. We can't. We get in dangerous territories when we start making overarching generalizations. That's why I feel like learned this in a writing class that to not make uh, generalizations of all statements or everyone's statements. Like I've always said, some some is more accurate, more nuanced take to approach things. But to say all women, all men do that now, there are some evolutionary commonalities, but that's not, I don't think that's anything to do with personality or the way that we treat people nowadays. That's more so of, I don't know. I'm not a biologist, but or a psychologist, but we can't. Yeah, it's just dangerous to make those generalizations because one, you also limit yourself to experiencing someone who isn't like that truly.
Yeah, very true. I like that answer. I knew it. I just needed to know. I had to hear that from somebody else. Like, dude, why they keep saying it? I know I don't hate people like, women will do that sometimes. They're like, all men, but I make sure like that I don't do that anymore because I don't like it.
Hmm.
So, and I know that there's good men out there, so I can't say all men are bad because I don't know all men, and then I know there's good men out there because it's just there is. I could say I'm a good one, then I know there's a good man out there. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Teachers,
Hmm.
yeah, that was a burning thought in my mind. Yes, but yes, okay. So, as far as everything that you're like you're working on right now is pretty awesome. Do you have any you probably said I think I might ask you, I don't think I asked you this in particular, but have
Okay.
you considered writing books or any type of literature of any type?
I love this question because it's one of the reasons why I've gotten into podcasting and podcasting in general is one, I feel like I wouldn't say I have a valuable perspective because who am I to put, well, I can put value on things for myself, but I can't put value on what other people may think that are valuable. But I feel like I have a unique perspective. I feel like I have stories to tell and experiences that I will be valuable to share with people so they can um, see how they would interact at the situation, see how they would take a situation, or if I was tripping or something like that. I feel like those stories are important to sell, and also just stories of lessons that I've learned in life. So, in 2020, I believe the book I was going to write was called "Navigating Without My Compass," and it was going to be a book about the passing of my dad. But I remember sitting down one day and I was realizing like, man, I hate to write. And it takes a special type of person to
Yep.
one budget the time to be like, I'm gonna sit down and write for an hour, 2 hours straight. And and do that for until the book is done, go through publishing, go through reviews. And I realized very quickly that I wasn't that type of person. So I said, what the easiest way for me to go about this is to talk about it. So that's what I'm doing now through my podcast. And I don't know, doing things like this, just talking to new people, sharing perspectives. Um, I feel like it's important to form your perspective, know your perspective, and understand it, but it's also important to challenge it in many different ways. Because if you can't challenge it, do you really truly believe what you believe?
Man, that was deep. That was just said right there. I did a show one time. It was called well, I know the question was why do we believe what we believe? You know,
Hmm.
like people just go around just having these thoughts and like, but like have you ever considered like where they come from? Why do you believe it? Like, Why are you acting this way? And like have like questioned or I just do. Well, where did it come from? Like who told you that? You
Yeah.
know, it was pretty deep. Or who does your thinking? I called it who does your controlled thinking. Something I named it, but yeah, because I think we're brainwashed and people don't realize it. And then when you can deprogram or whatever we want to call it, and then because it's like we don't just come here and be like and have all these, like thoughts, knowledge, or whatever kind of just passed to us. Our parents pass it
Hmm.
to us, and then roll with it and don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
So that's what I call it. I pretty much deprogrammed myself.
I like that. I like that. I like that term of deprogramming. I remember when because I ran track in high school, and my coach, who is like a not a famous track coach, but he's trained some people who ran in the Olympics. And one of the things that he said, because he loves like sci-fi and things, he always says, um, he always quotes Yoda and saying, "You must unlearn what you have learned." And that was one of the things that he also said, because in order for you to like learn how to properly run, you have to unlearn the running style that you've developed since you were a kid. Because if you running like how you are with a kid and you running against me who's like learned how to actually move my body, then it's not going to go great for you at all.
I like it. Well, I'm going to say that I know I have to let you go, but I will ask you if you wouldn't mind in the future coming back to because I'm going to be doing something that's regarding showing people that are about that look like us. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That kids can see because I have a children's a youth podcast, and I have a bully. I advocate for bullying, so I have a program, a campaign called Bullies and Bullied No More. So it's for the bullies and the bullied, not just like they just focus on the bullied all the time. This is like for the bullier and the bullied, and to basically to help that one that is being a bully redirect that behavior, and
Hmm.
show them how to and have the bully understand the bullier, like why do they do
Yeah.
that, and instead of just like being like you scarred me for life, or you know what I mean. It's like a thing you
Hmm.
got bullied, you can understand, so that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah. That's
But yeah,
that's really important, especially in today's day and age where you can be bullied anywhere, any moment with the assist of technology. So I feel like that's
yes,
a great work to do.
yes, we had quite a few suicides this 2020 and 21.
Wow, sorry.
So yeah, that's when red flag. Enough's enough. We got to do something.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
of course. Of course.
Yeah, but yeah, I would love if you would like to come back and be a part of if you'd like.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm still trying to get used to this talking to air thing, but like just having conversations with people, I love to do. So I would love to come back. Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I was so excited to have you on, and you made it happen. Thank you so much. And if you ever need anything, uh, keep in touch. I'll let you know. In this it's going to be video and audio.
Awesome.
So yeah, and yeah, anything, just let a sister know.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Anything. Oh yes, but before we go, so
Yeah,
sorry, so sorry. Don't
no
mind me.
problem.
Don't mind me. I'm a little crazy. Crazy. They know. Brandy's crazy. But I need for you to let our listeners know where they can find you. If you have any social media, websites, your podcast, anything you want them to know, where to go.
Yeah, so my name's Herb Wakefield. I'm pretty much Herb Wakefield on Instagram with an underscore. I can't remember if it's in the beginning or the end of it, but
Hmm.
me and my friend Taj Davis, aka Coffee Black, he's a rapper and educator out of Virginia. He is also, again, 23 years old, like me. Came from pretty much the same, not similar upbringings as me. We both went to school and played football in Ohio, and we started our podcast called the New Black Podcast, and new spelled NU. Black podcast, and we pretty much made this podcast to share perspectives, share experiences, overall become better people by ourselves, and hopefully some people can listen to the podcast and challenge their perspectives and reinforce their perspectives at the same time. So we are available wherever people listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music. Our newest episode that I feel like is a great one with my friend Grant Hall, where we talk about Stop Asian Hate and the roots of Asian hate, the perspectives that go into racial violence, and then just everything that's involved in like these movements that come on. So that episode's called Stop Asian Hate, Perspectives on Racial Violence, with Grant Hall. Was out today on Spotify. So the New Black Podcast, NUBLACK.
I've heard of this. No, I've listened to this podcast. No. Yeah, no, I have. I gotta check that out. To call that, I've heard of it. I know because I was looking at the email on your email. I was like, that's familiar. So I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. This is Herb Wakefield, the awesome, amazing chemist, and just all around, just intelligent man. So
thank you.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate
sharing. No problem. You can laugh at me. It's okay.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
I'm different. Okay, well, yes. So you have a good day, and everybody. This episode, I'm hoping it'll be out today. I'm gonna try to do it fast. So I'm great at editing, and we didn't have to do much here. So I'm definitely sending you the link so you guys can check it out.
Awesome.
Sound good?
Yep.
All righty. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.
All right. Thank you as well. Take care.
You too.